Weak and foolish. No.
What's up, everybody? Coach Herbs here. Today I'm going to be bringing you my Earth Druid build, and I'm going to show you some gameplay, and then afterwards I will go over the build and the items and stats you want to prioritize. So with that, here we go.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm out of spirit. I must wait a moment.
Alright, so as you can see, Druid is not weak, as a lot of people have been saying. I will admit the first early levels until I started getting some of these legendaries to put the build together, Druid was weak. And I also want to mention in the beta, sorry, we haven't even received our Spirit Boon, the Druid quest. So I think Druid's only going to go up, and as you can see, this build is extremely strong. In four-player parties, I'm still able to one-shot pretty much every single mob. The level 35 elite that you can fight, he gets one-shotted. The Butcher, sometimes you don't even think he's the Butcher, you just kill him thinking he's another elite mob. He dies so quick. World Boss did a ton of damage. This build just slaps all around. So before I go into the skill set, I'm just going to go over some of the items. Uh, the way I am doing it, I am a companion Earth Druid revolving around the skill Landslide. And what makes this build really strong is the weapon. Core skills deal an additional 16% damage for each active companion. Now for active companions, at the moment, I have 3 wolf companions, 1 vine companion, and 4 ravens, for a total of 8 companions and 120 bonus damage onto my core skill, which is Landslide, of course. Other things that make this kind of go a little bit overboard is I have this one, which gains an additional companion. So this will add another raven and another wolf, but however, it will not add another vine creeper. So that brings it up another 2. And then besides that, we have stuff like Earth Skill deals 74% more critical damage to crowd controls enemies. And almost all the time, you don't need to build crit chance on this Earth Druid, because with one of the skill bonuses, as long as you stack your CC on targets, you're guaranteed critical strike with increased 40% damage on all the landslides. And as you can see, that is from the upgrade to landslide, primal landslide. Now the trick to doing this is you just use your vine creeper, which immobilizes a big AoE circle around big packs, and this keeps going up. There's no limit, I don't think. I got it up to about 65 in one run, and it's just permanent crits, no crit chance needed. And this whole build is just about rocking skill damage and crit damage because you delete everything with landslide. So for stat priorities, what you would want to rock, I would say the 2 core ones that you should be looking out for, obviously critical strike damage and core skill damage. The third being willpower. Those are really the 3 that you want to get. Anything else is a bonus, like damage to crowd controlled enemies. As you can see, this build can be a little bit squishy. It's more of a glass cannon. So I like having, let's see, where can I find it? Fortified Generation, where you can kind of grab it. This is another very good affix for this ability. Casting a Storm skill grants your Aura skills another 40.5%. And as you can see, my Spirit Generator, Storm Strike, it is a Storm skill as well. You can also use Wind Shear for this. And this whole thing just kind of keeps stacking up the landfall. So just go over all the gear together. Willpower, life, and poison resist helm. The barrier, you can kind of use preference for this slot. There are a few other options that can be good. I just like having the barrier. This one's very important because as when we're fortified, which we are almost always are, your earth skills gain another 2 ranks. As you can see, I am fortified right now, which brings my landslide up to a total of 8 out of 5 skills. We already went over this one, but just gain the extra companion. It's going to equal out to 32% extra power on my core skill just from that. This one's really nice for survival. The duration of Urban Bulwark is increased by 6 seconds. Killing an enemy with Earth Skills replenishes 40 of your active Urban Bulwark's barrier. It just helps you keep you alive. For boots, you can kind of use whatever you want. I chose this one. I'm not really sure the best boot affix to go for. Now, for the weapon, you do have an option. You can run the companion build, but you can also use this affix. And what it will do is you'll have extremely high crit damage, but your skill-based damage will be a little bit lower. So it is the trade-off. What you do get access to if you don't run the companion builds is you get to use these other abilities like Cyclone Armor, Blood Howl, Debilitating Roar, Charge. So because I'm running the companion builds, I do lose out on those skills. I need to have the companions in my slots. But the damage is extremely high. And then this right here is also one of the other key aspects. Earth Pillars each strike a second time and deal an additional 12% bonus. So when I Earth Strike, let's see if I can get some spirit here. It casts twice, and then each time it hits twice. So I end up doing a total of 4 hits every time. 1, and yeah, just extremely strong because each one of those hits is going to kill a critical strike. And then my critical strikes usually range from 5k to about 18k per hit of the rocks. And I think that's it for gear, so I'm going to go over all the skills now. So I like using Storm Strike. It does have a chance to immobilize all enemies. Now, I'm not too sure on the vulnerable aspect. I think if you were going to fight a boss fight, I would just take 1 point out of something else and add it to this one. but for general dungeon clearing, you don't need to make the enemies vulnerable to kill them. So only on bosses do I think maybe you should put a point into this one. Another option is Wind Shear, which you can take with either the additional spirit gains or the movement speed. However, I just like using Storm Strike. Makes you a little bit tankier, has a chance to, and has a chance to immobilize, so it's really all you need. So yeah, we're gonna max out Landslide, enhance Landslide, and Primal Landslide is definitely the way to go for this one, just to guarantee critical strike on every single Landslide hit. This one is good, except it just can't compete with the guaranteed crits. This one is a massive damage bonus over the other. Now, if we're just going to slide up here, Heart of the Wild, just 1 point to get access to these two. These two are very important. The first one is basic skills, generate 30% more spirit. Landslide does use a ton, so the whole goal is to build it back up as quick as possible. And one of the reasons why it takes so much spirit is your core skills cost 15% more but do 30% more damage. So again, just buffing up that Landslide. Now we're going to go down. I do not have a point in Earthen Bulwark. I just have this from the 2 to fortify skills on the chest piece. And then 1 rank of Earthen Bulwark. So it saves me from putting any skill points in this whole tree line. And then we're going to go down to pets. So on my amulet, I have 1 to companion skills, which means I don't have to put a point into wolves, and I don't have to put a point into Vine Creeper. However, if you get down to the bottom tier of the ravens, you get 2 additional ravens. So you do have to put a point into ravens, enhanced ravens, and brutal ravens. And then defiance. But over here, before you put a point into defiance, I would go earth skills, 15% increased damage to immobilize. And then critical strikes of earth skills fortify you for 7 base life. This helps a lot keeping your life up. And then for the whole vulnerable on Storm Strike, I would just sub out Defiance for Storm Strike when you're fighting a boss, or you could use a different skill for that matter. But you don't have to do a full reset, you can just right click that one individual spell. And that is the build, guys. This is my Companion Landslide Earth Druid. Let me know what you guys think, but I just want to say again, Druid is definitely not weak. It might have had a slow leveling up. They could use a buff in the werewolf form. I see a lot of potential with Overpower Werebear. We'll have to see what the Spirit Boons do, but that might be a potential build. I wasn't too impressed with the Tornado and Storm Druids overall, or the Lightning. This is really the build that it does insane damage. I think it's probably the highest damage character in the beta, at least. Only losing to rogues on the world boss, but everything else it will definitely clear quicker than any of the classes so far. And that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment if you have any questions.